Hello everybody, Darren here, and welcome back to Satisfactory. Now in the last episode, I tapped yet another crude oil node in order to boost rubber production at my oil facility, but also to produce petroleum coke for the first time, which is something we're going to need in vast quantities for aluminum production, and aluminum is quite complex. Lots of various moving parts are needed to fit into place before we can even get the factory started, and there's really just two things left to do before we get started, which is to boost our silica production, to fuel the quartz factory so that we can carry that silica somewhere else, to set up bauxite and then deliver it via rail to an aluminum factory site. We have it over on the to-do list on the right-hand side of the screen. Now, they're quite abstract little things in the to-do list, but it'll make a little bit more sense as we get into things. Now, for those with a keen eye, obviously you can tell the Fixmas event is still ongoing. You can disable this if you want. People have told me I don't want to disable it. It's totally fine. We'll do it, actually, eventually. I've got ideas for it. Anyways, if you've been paying attention, you've been following along with the series so far, you'll know that this is the oil processing facility, but it looks quite different. I've been building on top of it. We basically built all the way out here and added all of these different refineries to do our rubber production. But now we have a way to get upstairs. So let's just go have a look. So we'll have a little factory tour of what's changed since we last had a look at it, and then we'll get out there and start working on that silica production. So previously we left off in this room here, the sorting and packaging room. But just before I take a moment to have a look in here, we'll go back to where we made that rubber production, which is all the way down this way. And here we are. So, rubber is made over here. We have one crude oil node that makes 600 crude oil, because it's overclocked. We then churn out rubber at 400 per minute and heavy oil at 200 per minute. The heavy oil gets refined in these machines then to produce petroleum coke at 1200 per minute. Now, that's an interesting number because it means that we don't actually have any belts sufficient enough to carry that all out of here. You could divide it up into several smaller belts, obviously, but I've just divided it up into two because our milestone right now is Logistics Mark 5, which will give us a belt that will carry 780 on it, which is the max speed of a belt in the game. So when we get that, I can upgrade this belt and the one below, and then we will be able to carry this out of here properly and keep these all running at 100%, as right now they're not. They're flickering on and off because they can't unload the machines quickly enough. Now, that stuff basically goes upstairs, and that's where I left the episode. I said we're going to send everything upstairs, and I'll build a little logistical floor up there, and that's what I've done. So let's go and check it out. Now, I also left off the episode in the sorting and packaging room, which is just in here. And I've just kind of gone around and added some railing so that we can walk around. So with this rail here, we can kind of get to the canister machine. So there's one constructor making canisters, and then there's one machine doing packaging regular fuel and another one packaging turbo fuel. We can check the rates, see that everything's all good and everything's working just fine. There's also some railings down here so we can get to the various storage containers, but people pointed out when I was building this in the comments that it doesn't really quite make any sense, and you're right, it doesn't. I was struggling with it. If you remember, I was standing on that splitter looking over here wondering, how do I divide this up? I just had one of those moments where I couldn't think properly, and I knew something was wrong, but I just went ahead and built it anyway. And I said it. But now I know what's wrong. So effectively, I built the overflow on the front of the container, not on the back. That's basically what the problem is. What you want to do is say, get this smart splitter, put it on the back, and then when this box is full, it goes, oh, overflow, and it sends it out and around. And that's actually how this room was originally designed, so I don't know why I forgot to do that, but I put it on the front, which means that this container never fills. The plastic just goes straight through, goes into the smart splitter, and then if the belt gets backed up, which it actually kind of is, the rest of it then goes off and goes into the awesome sink. Might have to look into why that is. There must be a belt that's slow somewhere up there. Or it could be to do with the train. I'm not too sure. We'll have a look in a second. But anyway, just wanted to show that area off. That area is pretty much done now. I'm going to leave it the way it is. The only way that those storage containers will ever get backed up is if the awesome sink itself gets backed up. And that probably will never happen, but if it does, then those little containers will start to fill up. Alright, so now we've got this new area here, the stairwell. And this is going to take us straight up through a hypertube up to the train station, but I'm going to tease that and we'll take the stairs into the ventilation room. So the ventilation room is basically just a nothing room, which we can see that actually has gaps that lead outside through big frame walls. So they're just open holes effectively so that all the smoke from the chimney stacks from all the refineries downstairs has somewhere to go. Gotta have that logic in there. Now, I tried to make it look a little bit better. It's just a hole in the wall basically, but it's really difficult. There's different ways to do it, and I just thought it's not really worth it, right? So just very quickly, I'll show you what I was kind of working on, which is you can get a conveyor lift like this, and if you just focus on the top part only, so let's say I put a floor hole on the ground and we just had the top part, it kind of looks like it's one of those metal ventilation shafts that sits on rooftops blowing stuff out. And if you clip it so that an hypertube entrance is on the other side, it looks like it's literally blowing air, because you get the air VFX, the graphics kind of blowing air out. So I dabbled, I tried it, but I kind of thought, you know what, life's too short. I'm probably never going to even look at this room, so let's forget it. Now, while I'm here, actually, can that be upgraded? No, so that's Mark IV. They're all Mark IV. Okay. So let's go upstairs, actually not that way, this way, into the station logistics floor. A little awkward to get to, I admit. But this is where everything that's produced in this factory comes up into these storage containers. So again, just to check on my belts here, that's Mark IV, Mark IV? Mark IV out of our minds? Yeah, we're Mark IV out of our minds, so I don't know why it's getting backed up. It looks like it's just stalled at the, what's it called? The train station, I guess. Maybe that's what's backing it up. Anyways, decided to use the conveyor wall mounts just to see, and ceiling mounts, just to kind of test them out. Bad place to put them, really, because I can't really see what's on the belt. And that's, you know, that's the whole point of the game. You want to see your belts moving. So unless I had a walkway going along this, it's kind of pointless. But I just wanted to try it out, so that was fun to kind of mess around with. And then I've just got some temporary awesome sinks here, taking up that rubber, taking up the petroleum coke, sinking it, and then sending it into a box that goes up to the train station. So on the left side here, we've all the exports. On the right side, all the imports. We've only got one thing coming in here, which is petroleum coke. You can actually see some of the station foundations that clip through. Probably going to have to redo the roof in here because it looks kind of messy, or just cover it up with, you know, some of the ceiling roof tiles that can go across it, and that'll look fine. So I've got another stairwell on this side then that leads back up to the other side of the train station. Same sort of setup, glass casing with a hypertube just going straight from the top to the bottom. And that way you're not clipping through the walls or anything. You can kind of see where you're going. Looks a little bit nicer, little glass rooftop. And then the train station right here. So the train station is just what I'm calling the oil station terminal. And if we just really quickly hop over, there's a train just pulling in. I can't remember for the life of me the YouTube channel that I saw that did this, but someone made a sunken-in railway, and I thought it looked so cool. So I basically just copied that. So it's not an original idea. I just thought it looked amazing, so I wanted to use it myself. I've gone and used different materials, but it's the same principle that they had, which was a foundation here, another one here, and then this one comes out a little bit. And it kind of looks like you can just, if we just look here, this is where the doorway is, right? You just, you know, you just step on, mind the gap, that kind of thing. So it looks really good. I really like this. And I just built one on this side as well. So both stations are facing the same direction, actually, and this is the import station, and that is the exports station. So anything leaving the station gets fed up into here. So we have our turbo fuel. One train is assigned to it. That's what that sign means. We then have plastic with one train currently on it as well. Petroleum coke, rubber, and this one's empty. And then on this side, we have empty, empty, and what's coming in is simply compact coal. And that's basically it. So trains are kind of doing their thing. Is there a compact coal delivery coming by anytime soon? No. And then we just have little gateways that lead out. Another train just pulled in, actually. So busy times. This is the turbo fuel freight car. It's actually full anyway, so I don't think it can get used. Then we could just take the stairs back out, and we can take a little hypertube that takes me down. People ask me why I don't use hypertubes more often. I get that question quite a lot. I don't really like the way you go into third person. It's just a little pet peeve of mine. Because it just juts your camera out and then it juts it back in. It just feels a little janky, I guess. I've also just got this outside area with nothing going on. And then a stairwell. We can just get back downstairs now. Alright, so here we are. Back out we go. So that's basically it. I just thought I'd show that off really quickly. Logistics, station, all good. So let's get moving now. So I should have lots of goods placed around various different places, and we're ready to go. So here is where I'm planning on building the aluminum factory. So I was initially planning on doing a hyperforge, and my god, I spent a long time working out how I could do it, and I can't work it out. I literally just cannot work it out. At least the way I was planning on doing it. Of course, you can make a hyperforge do different things and do it in different ways, but the way I was planning just isn't going to work. So instead, and that's kind of why I missed an episode, or was late with this one, instead, we're just going to go straight for aluminum. Forget the hyperforge. It's not going to happen. It's not worth the effort. So instead, what we're going to do is just drive down to the Quartz factory that I built, I think somewhere around episode 13 or 14 or something like that. It's the first time I got smart splitters, and I was using overflow and directional splitters to kind of decide on a sushi belt if we were going to have silica or quartz and divide it up. It was me just kind of playing around with that idea. For the first time, so it's quite a long time ago since we've been here. It's going to take me a little while to get there as well. So here we are. This is the old silica. So what belt did I have? I had a Mark III belt, best I'd ever seen at the time. And we just have it doing, what is it? Quartz crystal and silica. So now I'm going to tear this entire place down, pretty much, and rebuild it. And we're going to buff the miners. We're going to need something like, this won't even be enough quartz crystal, but I'm going to boost this to 480 is the most I can take on the belt I have. But eventually it would be great to get 600 and 600, so that'll be 1200 quartz crystal. And we'll see how much silica I can get out of that. I can't quite remember exactly how much I need, but it's a lot, and I don't think even 2 nodes is enough to do it. But it should get us pretty close to bringing the aluminum factory up to full production. So let's get started. I'm going to cut this here, and we're just going to cut this, and just cut off power that way, and I'm just going to basically just pave this entire place. Alrighty, so I've basically just cut away all the machinery here and just left the miners in place. There's a few storage containers lying around just full of my stuff temporarily for now, and I might reduce down the amount of concrete that's here and just kind of make it look a little bit more elegant in future, but I don't want to waste any time now. I kind of just want to focus on getting aluminum, getting started with aluminum, and I'll do these kind of cosmetic things, maybe a little bit more in between episodes, because I don't really have a plan for how it's going to look, so I could be back and forth doing a lot of stuff on it. Now, I've also just raised this bit here to go over some of the sand dunes, and then another bit here. It's not looking great because there's obviously weird shadows going on in here as well. We've got 2 truck stations in place now. Basically, it just took me a while to align them, so I decided to cut that out. But effectively, what's happening here is this is going to be the one that takes in fuel, and this one's going to be the one that sends out the raw quartz, and that's going to get taken away. So I wanted them to be a bit more separated, but obviously the terrain, obviously it's autosave right now, the terrain is not making that easy, right? The dunes are just happening, the way they're going just makes it really awkward, so it's fine, whatever. I might make this place look a little bit more elegant, and hopefully this being raised isn't going to cause any issues. I don't think it does. I'm going to just wing it and hope that it doesn't rather than even test it. So let's drag our belt, send it straight into there, and the belt will go from here into that one. So it's going to be 2 inputs of just raw quartz just being fed in straight up. Looks a little weird, doesn't it? Is there any way I could mitigate that? It's because of this little ramp here, I guess. Maybe just a little bit. Let's just try to make it look a tiny bit nicer. Let's get a stackable conveyor pole, and we'll list it to here and put another one there. Get our belts, and I can just start here, maybe, and go like that. If we get actually the stackable pole again, maybe here, that might make things look a little bit more elegant. I don't know. So obviously it's gonna have that. I mean, there's a ramp, so it's got to happen, but at least that goes in fairly nicely now. So that's going to be 2 lots of 480 raw quartz, and then eventually 600 when we can max it out to that. So here the turbo fuel is going to come in. Now I don't know, I don't think if a truck delivers turbo fuel into the cargo space, does it get automatically fed to the fuel section? I don't think so. So I'm going to drag a fuel thing out, or a belt out that goes straight into the fuel, so that it fuels itself. I don't think it really will need to do this, but just in case, it's a long journey from where this is going to be going, so it might actually have to do that. And then similarly, this needs to then kind of line up with this one, right? We need to feed fuel over here. So this can just go straight along. And I guess stop at the ramp. That's straight, is it? Yep. And can we raise that here and then go in? So again, a little weird because of these little ramps, but it works. So it's fine. Might as well just color that as well and say that that is the fuel line, so we can just easily distinguish it. Yeah, good. Now I might also change these concrete things and add some railing and pathways for us to get around. So now what we have to do is just feed this with 2 lots of raw quartz. So we'll just get 1 conveyor lift here to go like that, and then the other one will have to be just a little further out. We'll have stackable poles maybe that can then carry that second lot up. It's pretty high up there. I'm just trying to think actually. Yeah, I don't mind doing that actually. Yeah, that's fine. Let's see. This will just go pretty much in a straight line to here. And I might turn that miner around so they're both facing the same way. Floor is too steep. Alright, so this is going to just drag out and then connect in here. Just to straighten it up a little bit, we'll just pop it right there. Alright, so that's one of them fed. So we got to figure out how to get that one coming out of this one without looking a bit too weird. I mean, it could just go along the top and then just turn here somewhere, I suppose. Kind of strange, I guess, but whatever. Could be worse. Okay. Is it 3 or is it 4? It's 4. Jeez, it is high. Yeah, it is weird, but it's okay. All right, there we go, and that can go down to here. That actually comes down a bit already. Do we want that? Probably not. Keep it high, and then we'll just make an elevator or a lift. The lift can be there. I don't mind. Oh my god, I'm out of beams. Can't be out of beams, am I? Surely not. No, I've got some here. Good. Alright, cool. So there we go. So now we've got 2 miners feeding a weird belt all the way up and over here that leads into a truck station. So that's all we needed, and we could just make a little maybe staircase thing. Gets us up there. And we have a door. We do. Cool. So I'll make this place look a little nicer and maybe show it off in the next one if it ends up looking good. If it doesn't, I'll hide it away forever. So what we need to do is then power this place. So the power was coming from over here somewhere. So again, I'll be lazy. We'll just hook it up right now. That already has its power technically at the back. Great. This needs to be boosted to 480, which is the best our belt can take. Now we could go up to 600, but there's no point until we have the belt, but I'll leave the overclocking shard in there just until that happens. So there we go. 480 per minute. We might even need 2 trucks doing this to take this all away quickly enough. But that's going to be the... I did make a mistake saying silica boost. It's really the raw quartz. Well, it's really the... I don't know. Quartz factory change, you know? It's just a change to how it's going to be set up in future. Silica is kind of not offline right now. Until we build the actual aluminum factory. It's not really going to do anything. So we also need to power this. So I'll just pop one there. And just join that onto the power poles that are coming in. And that's now taking stuff in. Excellent. Alright, cool. I don't actually know how much this can hold. But seems like a decent amount, I guess. I think it's like 4,600 or something like that. Oh, I guess it depends on what's going in. Alright, good. So there we go. Do I have a color for quartz? I don't. Oh, well, we'll leave it then. I was going to paint these things, but I'll do that later. Right, let's just take this away with me. We've left a crate. That's from some of the residual from the machines that we had that I'm not using. Get rid of some of the fuel. Don't need that fuel either. Take on the steel. Good, so there's now just a storage container full of quartz crystal, silica, and then a storage container. Now, I was actually really low on steel pipes. Yeah, I've got none. I'll get some on my way back. It's fine. Hey, what's wrong with this? Why is it yellow? Don't know why it's... Oh, now it works. That was weird. Maybe it got backed up for a sec? I don't think so. Alright, cool. Alright, let's get going. So the next thing is to deliver the turbo fuel to this place. So I'm going to have to get out and drive a truck over here and get it to pick stuff up. So let's just select this, say that this is going to be loading, and then this one's going to be unloading. Yep. And I suppose what we could do is just test this. So it should feed itself. Yep, it's feeding itself. And of course it's feeding over here as well. Great. Nice. Alright, let's get in our little explorer and make our way back to the original transport hub that I built. Alright, so I'm basically at the transport hub right now, but I thought I'd just really quickly show off something I made on stream. That's very, very simple, but I just thought I would tell people I've done it. In case you're wondering why I'm collecting alien remains, I've basically set up a bunch of smart programmable splitters here. Don't know why they're not just smart splitters. Is there a reason for that? Oh yeah, there is actually. So programmable splitters that are dividing up the stuff, the alien material. So if we put the alien material into the storage container, it gets sorted into all of these different constructors. That turns it into protein. The protein then goes into a final constructor here at the end, turns it into capsules, and then the capsules get turned into the awesome thing to give us DNA points that gives us tickets. So basically I was streaming not that long ago, and I just decided to set that up because I got so much alien remains like on me when we were going. I was going around exploring, basically trying to find nodes and just kind of messing around, chatting with people. Didn't actually really build anything except for this. So I just set this up, a little automation of alien remains. Now you don't need programmable splitters to do it. You can do it with smart splitters, and to be honest, you could do it even without that. But this is a nice little solution and a little way to use programmable splitters. I always like using them if I can. All right, so gonna head back over to the transport hub now. We're gonna make a truck and set up an autonomous route to get us fuel delivered to that raw quartz facility. So we'll just park up here. And we'll just jump up and climb this ladder to get up there. Alright. So, if you remember, this place is kind of interesting because there is a truck station that has fuel. But it doesn't have anything using it. You can see that it's got a train delivering the fuel, but no truck actually picking anything up here. So this is kind of an interesting one. We can set it to loading. Yeah, we'll build a truck. Please tell me I have enough on me right now. I do. And we'll start making a route. Now to do that, we're going to also have to make a... Yeah, so I'm going to have to get rid of this area. Well, actually, first off, I'll build out a road. So the road's going to go pretty much straight that way for a while. And then I get rid of one of these support pillars, if I can. Hopefully I can pick that up, can I? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, seems fine. Alright, we'll get rid of these supports. I'm sure the bridge will hold. And we'll start carving out this new road. So just get rid of this little part here. There we go. Alright, the road will continue out this way. It's a 4-lane road. Looks huge. It only needs to be 3. I'll probably chop away this bit, actually. Just use this. And it's going to go connect over to that ramp over there. That natural terrain ramp. So, just drag it all the way out. Oh my god. I thought, with the loud noise, I thought a truck had just driven through me for a second there. Is the mama around here somewhere? I don't think so. Alright, let's just hide that. So, our road is then going to come out here, and we're going to join onto the terrain. So let's just get out the chainsaw, hack away maybe at some of these trees. In fact, it would be nice if I could just fill up my inventory. Then I can get rid of just one tree at a time. So I've only got room for one thing. You bastard. Alright, so that means that I should be able to get rid of one tree at a time. I'm kind of persnickety with that. Nice, yeah, there we go. Fine chopping. So we can get rid of these bushes. Alright, nice. And this looks like one big tree, is it? Or is it separate? Yeah, it's one big one. So let's just grab this. Let's see if we can make that ramp now. So I'll just go... Foundations, ramp. We don't want an 8 ramp. We've seen before how slow that can be. And can look really weird. But we'll just use this one. That's totally fine. Wow, I can't believe it let me build while he was in the way there. What's going to happen to him? What happens to him now, actually? Can I free you just for a second? Maybe let you get running? There you go. Don't worry, he barely felt it. He's blinded now. I shot him right in the eye, but he'll be fine. Alright, so everything is in place now in terms of the roads for us to actually go and drive out to where those quartz miners are. So this is I've actually had a failed attempt at trying to do this once already. It turns out that the truck stations you may have caught in the previous part of the video, they were set to the wrong loading and unloading. So I've reversed that, and now doing the route should work. So let's give it a go. So we'll start a new path, start recording, and let's go. Also, made some alterations to the overall path because it was really, really bumpy and really awkward. So I cut down a few extra trees and then laid out a little extra road for us to go. So we'll load up our turbo fuel. All good, and we'll get going. So we'll follow this road all the way out to the Quartz miners. That then delivers fuel to the Quartz area so that we can set up another truck that then delivers quartz to the Bauxite train station, which is going to be doing bauxite and quartz and then take it down to the aluminum factory via train. So kind of a complex little web of transport, but I find it fun. But it is that kind of thing where one thing ends up going wrong in the future, you run out of fuel or something, everything starts to break down. So it's a dependency network that could be a little dangerous, I guess. Especially since turbo fuel is also my main source of power, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, so we just join onto the riverbed now. Avoid the animals, obviously, of course. Don't want to hurt anybody. And then we should be crossing a river right up ahead. We'll cross that river and then flow down towards where our original power facility is, which is just across the river. We can actually see probably the rig. There it is. So we'll take this trip all the way down. Gets a little dangerous, gets a little hot, goes pretty fast on this hill. Probably want to get rid of those trees in the very center there as well, maybe. Alright, no problems, like a glove. Now we want to keep all that momentum and power to get us up this hill. Come on! Oh my god, it's going to struggle quite a bit. Come on! Look at the incline. Let's go! Yes, just about. Better than the old ramp I built at the back of the other place, and that one works, so I'm sure this will be fine. Alright, so we're almost there. And we'll have to pull up to the truck station. It's going to be really awkward, though. I think we go down this way? Yeah. When in doubt, follow the giant bean things. Because they tend to guide the way over here. Alright, just glide over the geysers. No problem at all. And here we are at the truck station. Hopefully configured correctly this time. Alright, unload. Empty me out. Alright, and then we're obviously loading the fuel into the other one, which looks great. And then this one will just be stocked full of fuel for a very long time, really. Because we're loading and unloading so much with one truck, so it should be totally fine for quite a while. Just wait until that unloading bar is done. I don't think we have to, but just in case, just let it get its thing done. And let's go. Alright, now it's as simple as following the arrows back and connecting the start to the finish and then letting it do this autonomously and hoping to God that there's no problems. Well, I'm after colliding with an alien and the route is getting really kind of messed up. Well, hopefully it'll just work and this won't be a problem. We'll have to see how that goes. I'm just going to save it. I can't be bothered doing this again. I've done it like 3 times now. Alright, here we are back at the transport hub. And there we go. There's our finish line. Alright, cool. So save the path. We're going to call this one, I guess, well, let's say transport hub. Well, can we do the full name? Transport hub to Quartz 1. Save. Alright, and then we'll just say enable the autopilot and we'll get out and hopefully it'll just work. I'm just waiting for the autosave. Okay, so autopilot's enabled. Actually, just let me get in for a sec. Hide the path. Don't like seeing the path. And it should continue to do its thing. 4900 turbo fuel in there. And away it goes. It's already loading. God damn. God, look how fast it goes. I'm looking at the number, by the way. Goes up in chunks of 200, it seems. Or 100, I guess, probably. Alright, 2700. Off it goes. Godspeed. It just immediately goes off the edge of the cliff or something. Alright, so that is fuel to the Quartz factory. That's done. So now, we got to set up the Bauxite train station. So I'm going to pick up back over at the Quartz factory. I'll make sure I have all the materials needed to make the train station and make the truck and everything that's going to be needed to carry everything over that way. Alright, I've made it to the Quartz miners yet again and our turbo fuel delivery, which is now up and running and seems to be all good. So, we now need to drive to where the Bauxite train station is going to be. So, like I mentioned before, I've streamed like 2 or 3 times now this game where I don't build anything. I mostly just do exploration and chat with people. And we're going to follow along a path that I found that leads really nicely up to where one of the bauxite deposits is. Oops. Oh well. So I was hard drive hunting, which is how I found this. There's a hard drive just on that little plateau there. But this cave here will actually lead really nicely if we take this little side cave system that I found as well. So we'll just follow it along down this way, and then before coming out the other side, which is actually an interesting place to come out as well, it kind of cuts through straight to the desert. But if we stop just before that, we can get out on this little mini lake. Whoa, spiders. We'll get to them in a minute. But here, so this little lake here is perfect because it actually has a cut through that leads straight up, or like pretty high up. So what we need to do is pave this because the truck is going to take this route. Those spiders coming back. You know, I just don't like having spiders at my back, literally. So let's just handle that. Yeah, is that it? Just the one. They are lonely creatures, spiders. Although these aren't spiders, these are stingers, and they usually travel in packs. Don't see another one. Anyway, alright, so I think I can actually bomb that coral-looking stuff and get rid of it as well. So we'll start with a foundation, line it to the world grid. Yeah, that seems fine to me. Keep it nice and high and tight. Alright. It's actually worked out very well because it's aiming right at that area. Excellent. So this will be a little road that our truck is going to drive. Let's go all the way. Let's see if we can bomb this. Huh. Yeah, that worked well. Okay, cool. And that'll bring us out the other side. In fact, I think we can get rid of even more, maybe more... Oh, there's weird grass effect here. Huh. Oh, maybe you can't get rid of that bottom bit. Let's just test it. Doesn't seem like it. But okay, that should be fine. I'm sure the truck can drive through here. Do we need to do that? Pave it the whole way? Yeah. Actually, you know what, guys? I'm just going to do something really quickly here. I'm going to remove what I've just done and change it to a height 1 foundation. I think it'll just look a little bit better. I just want it to look kind of nice as it goes over the water. So I'm just going to change that really quickly and then resume. Alright, there we go. So I've basically just made it into an asphalt little road. Added some supports underneath to make it look like it makes sense. And then we can add on the little bits of ramp or something to the edges here. Let's just do that. And then we'll get the ramp foundation color to asphalt. Double ramp 2 meters? Sure. A vehicle is in the way. Alright. Alright, cool. So as the truck drives along this cave, he'll just come up on this nice little ramp here. Mushrooms are slightly overgrowing it or whatever, but let's just follow up where it goes now. So just to reiterate where we are on this map right now. So the oil processing plant is over here. The quartz refinery is there. So we basically just traveled from the quartz refinery along this way through a cave that started roughly around here and has curled us up to here. And then we're going to take a left turn. Instead of going out further into what I think is called the Rocky Desert, which is actually where our geothermal generators are and our radar tower over to the left. We're going to cut left and it'll bring us up higher. So let's go. And the reason we want to do this is because I want to get higher up, obviously, to get to the bauxite, which is up very, very high indeed. Ah, actually, I just realized I might want to build some sort of little ramp on this side too. I was going to say toe. Oh my god, speaking of little creatures. Oh my god, it worked. I thought it was definitely going to take multiple bombs. Wow. Holy crap, that was really effective. That was super effective. That's just the body. It's just a cluster of 4. Gone. See you later. Spider cave. Alright. Let's continue. It's not too steep of an incline either. I think the truck will be okay to get up here. Alrighty, this is where I want to be. So this is where the train station is going to go. So I need to basically remove all this stuff. All this fauna and flora. Clear out this area, level it out, concrete it, pave it, paint it black. And yeah, put a train station up here. And then just over there is where the bauxite is. So we're not quite high up enough to get it. Alright, there we go. Nice and flat. It's actually on a slight incline, so we'll be building the foundations from here and then kind of either working with a ramp or something on this side. Of course, then we need a truck station on that side to feed into the train station the raw quartz that'll be coming in. So I thought I would just let you know where we are, you know, orientate yourselves. So I've extended the train line, as you can see, a little further out this way. It's not hooked up to the power network just yet. And roughly there is where I'm planning on doing the aluminum, because it's near water. It's also near copper, which is going to be needed as well. So pretty great place. So up here we'll get our bauxite and we'll just basically bring it via train onto the rail network, merge it on, and then bring it into you know, that factory when we get started with that. But in the meantime, we have to actually, like I said, get all these things in place first. So a bauxite train station is the next thing that's necessary. I've already got that as well. Of course, we have radar towers letting me know, if we hover over it, how many hard drives are left here. There's actually 3 in this entire radius, so haven't gotten everything yet, but most of the ones that are quite obvious I've gotten. And we can use our little beeper if I ever need to find where they are. People say that they put little beacons on these things and you know, to let them know if they got them already, but I just take out the beeper. I don't mind. It's pretty good to me. Alright, so I'm going to pull the little explorer out of here and we'll start paving this. I've got some blueprints that should make it go a little quicker. Just back up for a second. There's more mycelium stuff around here. Let's just take these guys out as well. 4 shots, man. This rifle, how good is it? Not even using the homing ammo, which does more damage. And that's our cave. Be cool to put a little sign on the cave or something as well. We should name it. Give it a name. And the route, an overall name as well. And that one too. Alright, okay, so yeah, let's begin the pave. So what I'll do just to start us off is get started with some foundations that are on the grid, on the world grid somewhere. That sounds fine to me. It's a little high up actually, this one. Could we go a bit lower than that? That seems good. Drag this first one out like this. This one's a temporary one that we'll get rid of in a moment, but all the blueprint ones can join onto it. Alright, so we'll just fly up here and then hopefully be able to snap to these a little bit more easily. So foundation 2 meters, we'll go with the 4 meter one that we've blueprinted and set it to blueprint, hold control. Will that work? Yeah, right there. Boom. So just make sure that's correct. Yep, it seems aligned. So that is aligned to the world grid. It's not raised or anything. It's even. Perfect. Alright, great. So now what we can do is just grab that again. I have it on my hotbar, actually. I'll just go get it. There. Look at it like this. Boom. And it takes 100 concrete each time. Then I can just run around chipping away at the bits I don't want anymore. So much quicker. So good. Look at this. Paved. Feels a little bad, but not too bad. Alright. I don't know. I just have that inherent, like, don't like destroying ecosystems. This lovely terrain, and I just concrete it, you know? There's something wrong about it, obviously, inertly. But I am in a video game. I shouldn't care that much. But for some reason, I do. Alright, I'm basically out of concrete. I'm gonna have to go fetch more. That's pretty much as far over as I'd want to go, I think, yeah. And maybe a bit more at the front. But can snap a little off, and then we'll have to get more concrete anyway to then join it up there. I've actually already, if you can see, left materials out ready. Just ready for the aluminum factory. So there's actually like 12,000 concrete in that or something, so I can go grab that as well. Getting back up here is not going to be that easy, though. Yeah, this actually needs more before it's going to then use the ramp to get down. Okay, so I'm going to have to go fetch more concrete. It obviously just takes quite a lot to pave a place like this. And then we're going to need even more to do walls and actually make the place look somewhat decent. Build that tower complex, I think, would be kind of cool as well. Alright, I'm going to hop down. I'll be back in a moment. Alright, I'm back. So I've basically paved everything I think I'm going to need to. And then I'm also just going to build that sort of tower walkway thing that's going to lead us up to the bauxite. So this is about as far towards the cliff as I think I can make it before we start to really clip through it. I don't mind clipping a little bit every now and then, but a massive portion of that cliff is going to be jutting through if I go any further. So let's just start here. Build a wall all the way up. And I'm going to build it similarly to how I showed you in the train station today. So it's going to be a 3x3 with a center square made of glass that'll have a hypertube that leads all the way up. So we have to reserve this space, which, you know, we're tight on space. So it's kind of tough even having to do that because I know that I'm going to need, you know, room for the train station to kind of do stuff. But let's just do that. Let's pave it all the way up. Let's got this, and there we go. So this will take us up top side. Now, I actually don't know if I kept it or not, but as a blueprint, I made stairs. Yeah. Now, it's a little finicky, but it could work. Let me just pop this down once and see, like, will that then just kind of snap to itself in future? I don't know. Something like this. This is where you'd want to start it, I think. I just don't know if it's clipping through the back or not, but I don't think it is. No. No, it's not. It's in the wall, right? Yeah, that's fine. It shouldn't be anyway, because it is stopping right on the edge of the foundation, and the foundations are aligned, so it should be fine. So I think I can just do this several times now. Alright, there we go. Easy as that. So easy. It's not like I tried this before and was completely off and then had to redo it or anything, so it's totally easy, don't worry about it. Right, so let's get rid of this. Maybe we could cut it there and cut this here and then just bring that out this way, like so. And then we'll have our glass hypertube that brings us up the center. But then I also need reserved space in that same hypertube glass box that's going to take in the bauxite and bring it down. Yeah, and we'll need, I think I'll need 2 belts that does that, so that's a bit of an issue. So, let's just figure it out. So if we grab, let me see, a wall with 2 outlets, just about there. Actually, you know what? Maybe there's not going to be a hypertube because I can't really think of how I'm going to fit that in there, but I might be able to, but down the center, maybe, but maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so having that come in that way, that's totally fine. Something like this, and then this will be here again, effectively. See, that's the only thing. It's like the hypertube will come out here, and it's like, oh, that's weird. Maybe I could come out on top. I don't know. So let's just get our belts. We'll say it's going in that way for sure. In that way for sure. And then we need our lift. Now, I don't think a lift can go that far. We might have to double it up. It's going to look a bit strange. We'll see, though. Do I have one here? I do. So, yeah, Mark IV lifts will just fall all the way down. Yeah, it stops right there. Okay. So what we could do is join another one onto it and just bring it down the rest of the way. Not a big deal, I suppose. That's what we're gonna do for now. For quite a while, I would imagine, actually. But all good. Okay, and let's just do the same with this one. There you go. Alright, now we can do the same wall hole here. And bring it out. And then here's our entrance. Just like that. Just like that. So easy. Now the reason I've got 2 belts is because we're going to get at least 2 miners early on. There is 3 that's around, 3 deposits that we could get, but I'm just going to use 2 of them. Until we get the faster belts, and then that can improve things greatly. But then I'm hoping something like drones or something, it will be better to use as well in the future. Okay, so... Oh, it's mom and dad. Jesus. Alright, good. Oh my god. Wow, actually, those nobelisks, man, that's only a normal nobelisk as well. Can you imagine using the more powerful ones? Must be crazy. Well, that's what they get for living on top of like this weird cliff thing. Guarding bauxite. I mean, just go live in the jungle like a normal animal. Alright. We'll put the remains to good use. Nothing goes to waste. Except for all the things I delete in my inventory quite regularly now. Miner. Mark Dos. I'm missing the portable miners. It's in the Explorer, but that's okay. Let's just get the foundations. Maybe World Grid 2. We'll build an enclosed little room for this, just to make it look nice. We can put some walls on it, and then it'll have to just feed over to that side of things. So, I don't know, something like this, I guess. Do you want to put the... I guess I could foundation the whole way. Seems like it's a level level area. Alright, so that's that. So we want this to be 480. So it needs 2. Cool. So the other one is just over there, I think. Is there an easy way up? Someone actually, I think it was my good buddy Eaton, who was on my stream the other day, said like, oh, what you could do is use zip lines. And that allows you to get up, climb places. Which I totally forgot, which is a great tip. So you just do something like this. And hey presto, we have a zip line that'll take us up here. If I could find a flippin'... There we go. Okay, got it. God, I'm quick to anger lately. Alright, off we go. It's an interesting plant. It's like a flamingo looking thing. Almost like a little rainbow inside of itself. So, let's scan for bauxite. Should come up somewhere over there, I think. It's across the way. And then we'll try to build a route that comes back here. We're so high up now, we can't even see anything. The oil processing facility is just down there. Whoops. Alright, here we are. I actually might drag power back as well, so I don't have to make a trip back in here. Got a little bit of... taking a little bit of damage. Oh. Hello. Are you friendly? You're not friendly, are you? Oh, get out of the way. Alright, let me deal with these guys. Can we throw some bombs on him, maybe? It's kind of fun. Kind of forgot that it would destroy the train. Alright, see you later. 4 remains. Miner Mark II. Yep, just aim it somewhere out that way. And then we will just manually drag as much of this over as I can. I can't drag that much though, because unfortunately we're quite low on heavy encased beams or whatever they're called, industrial encased beams. And then we'll just bring this up to 480. And then I'll just drag back at the power as well. So let's just hook this up to power, bring it with the belt. belt may clip a few things. It's fine. So we will be coming back up here in the future to deal with this. And I'll probably make another enclosure for that miner as well. Hey, slug. Alrighty, so I had to run back, get some industrial beams, but I've basically come back up here and reconnected the belt all the way down to the miner. I've also built a little house for the miner. Just a small little house, inspired by one of the ones that was shown on the recent Coffee Stain stream, which looked amazing. There's these like little stairs that they had inside of it. It was the release stream for Update 7. I don't remember the name of the person who posted it, but they said that they were going to blueprint their stairs and how they did it. Their stairs look amazing. They're like little foundations stacked on top of each other, but like inches above each other. I actually tried to do it when I saw when I basically saw the result, and I can't work out how they've done it really. It would have to be something like, you'd have to have like a piece of terrain here, and then like raise it but push it in like a little bit, and then raise it and push it in a little bit, but they have it like perfectly lined up. So it's done really, really well. But I don't know how they could achieve that in the Blueprint Designer. Because they said they were going to release it as a blueprint, but you can't build a Blueprint Designer around something that's already built. You can only build stuff in the Designer. So I don't really know how they're going to do it. But maybe that's why it hasn't been released yet. I don't know. Anyways, the belt just flows all the way along here, connects to this, and then flows down with power poles leading all the way out. Power poles are still not hooked up to power, so haven't actually done that yet. I'm trying out a new aesthetic. I'm going to go with black and white, seeing as we're doing aluminum production, and it's kind of like gray/white in color, the liquid. So anything to do with it, I'm going to basically color white and black. I think that kind of looks cool. It's a little different. I don't know if I'm going to leave it with this kind of sign, and the roof looks a bit strange, but whatever, it's all good. It's fine, right? Anyway, so we've got our one belt here, then we've got our second belt, both doing 480 resources per minute for bauxite. Comes along this way, feeds into our little area, and then we'll have to bring it down. So I've actually gone and got some silica as well. So we can maybe make our frame windows that can connect on here as well. Can we do it that way, or do I have to... I think I have to do it from the bottom, perhaps. Let's go down here. And we'll house this place in a glass case of emotion. I guess we'll leave that one open, but just for now, drag that up and then cancel that one out. Alright, and I'll probably go up even higher to the roof, and then I'll put a little glass roof on this place. I could see if I have it now, so you can see how I did it before if anyone wants to know that. Some people do complain when I don't show how I do things, even though some of it I find to be like pretty straightforward, but I guess if you don't watch anyone else, maybe it's good to see. So we have the roof that you unlock in the awesome shop. God, I was going to say the MAM, and then I was going to say awesome sink. Anyway, the awesome shop. We'll switch it to glass, which you pay extra for, and I'll try with just level 2 and work its way in. If I could do that, that'd be nice, game. No? Don't want me to do that? Alright. We'll put one down in the wrong place first, and then we can do it. Oh, actually, I know why we can't do it. We need corner pieces. What am I doing? So that's fine where it is, but let's get that corner piece for 2. Wrong direction. Good job, Darren. God damn it. Alright. There. Let's nail that one down. That one. And that one. Alright. And then just a flat roof in the center. Okay, cool. So there we go. So that's our 2 miners set up now. One has a little house, one doesn't. One just looks really ugly, but when we get drones, we can then feed fuel into our various miners out this way, and a truck will, well, really just one truck station, and a truck will then drive and pick up the ore and deliver it somewhere here or whatever, you know? So that's why it's kind of temporary where it is right now, but it's just got to be the way it is. But this one's a bit more set, so that looks nice sitting there on its own. I think it looks great. All right, so it's not as good as that guy, though, or girl, but not very good at all. But not bad at all, I mean, sorry. Right, anyway, so let's go down. Down we go, all the way to the bottom. And we'll start building out the train station. That'll be the last thing I think we can do in this episode. I'm currently just passing 3 hours of recording. because I suck. No, it's okay. I like to just pretend like I'm like really beating myself up or something. I also need to put windows on this. I could do the hex frame windows. They always look quite good. Can we do that? Maybe just see what that would even look like just there, for instance, right now. Yeah, it gives a bit of texture to the building. I might do more with that. I'll play around with it myself and see if I can get a nice kind of looking pattern or something going. But even just doing that in the center of each side would be fine by me. Okay, so train stations. Train stations. So what we're going to need to do that, excuse me, is lay the station out, figure out it needs to go in the center of a foundation pretty much. And we have to have the room. I'll just put one down for now. We have to have the room for two and have a... Yeah, there's a decent amount of space I think that we can... Yeah. Maybe we can have the other one somewhere like here. Damn it, actually, I'm just so getting confused. So basically what I was thinking is a train is going to come up here on the left side, circle around, and by the time it gets to the front of the station, which should be here, facing out, it can load up stuff behind it. Got it. Right. That makes sense. Okay, so we'll pop it down right about there. Alright, cool. There we go. So that should be good room to give us room to walk around this way and this room to go out and join into the freight stations behind us. So, freight platform. So one of these is going to be bauxite. Another one's going to be silica. There might need to be, depending on the train that we use, because we're also going to be picking up petroleum coke. So they'll definitely need at least 3 platforms. We could obviously blank out one of these platforms, but I just want to visually get it in my head that we have 3 there. And that might be all we need, and then we can circle around. I don't think we'll need more than that, but I suppose, is there any harm in doubling it up? If we can handle increased volume. I mean, we're pretty close to where we need to go, but if we can handle increased volume, then we might as well try. So that'd be carriages. So for 2 carriages of petroleum coke, 2 carriages of silica, and 2 carriages of bauxite. And then the problem here would be we'd need to wrap it around. Just trying to think what gets consumed most. Bauxite definitely gets consumed most. Way more so than silica and petroleum coke from the workings. So maybe we could trim off the last 2 then. And that way we'd have 4 carriages. So 2 doing bauxite, 1 petroleum, 1 silica. And that might be enough. And then we have enough room to circle it around behind it. But always good to future-proof. So if we could just get a platform. Empty platform. Stick another platform on the end just in case. And then jump up here, get our rail, and start looping it around. So rail connects in there. So we basically need to do as sharp a turn as we can while it still lets me, but also have it... See, these things are really finicky. You have to find that point where it's not turned. So even here, it's like a little turned. Here it's turned. You can see it's not aligned with the line. Same with here. So there, it's nice and even. And the reason you want that, basically, is because people say, like, oh, man, I'm building in a straight line, but I'm seeing it zigzag when it gets done. And it's because it's slightly off, and you just can't do anything about it. So you always want to make sure you're just building in an even amount. That's why I built in the center of a foundation, so I know where we're at. That's why this is, like, able to then align on the line of a middle foundation. So that's how that all works. So 1, 2, 3. So it's 3 foundations over, basically. So... that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. So then we just climb up and up and up, and we look at the center of this one, and it should eventually hit that middle point, probably on this line, I would imagine. Yep, there we go. And that's us now with a hopefully straight line, I think. I'll look like a fool if I get this wrong now. There you go. Alright, great. Aren't grids amazing? So, whoa, my god. The train actually comes up here, loops around, and turns into the station there. This station is just going to be called Gristleham right now, but we'll call it, I don't know. Well, it's really, yeah, Aluminium. Aluminium components. Aluminium. I guess I'll call it Baux and Silica Sicilia. Silica exports. Bauxite and silica exports. Alright. And I'll head out that way. So now we have to actually make it join onto our rail network. And then this will have to join on as well, which is a bit tricky. This will have to go out fairly far, I think, probably to about 10. Alright. So that railway can continue as is. This one's going to be a bit more bendy. Yeah, so that's going to go like that. So we'll need one to come in somewhere here and turn. Too sharp a turn, are you kidding me? Alright, we'll have to work it from this side out. I mean, this doesn't have to come up as far as it is. That's another point. Could do a turn before that, which would be good. Yeah, so I guess I'll work with the actual foundation here. So that is on a nice spot there. So let's see, where can this turn to, where it makes sense. That seems even there. So then we'll just turn this until it becomes even and in line with the middle foundation if we can. Right there. Actually, that's even right there, isn't it? Yeah, it looks like it. For some reason, it kind of looks like it's not, but I think it is. I'm not seeing any clippings. There we go. That's the center. And then if we just attach this to this, I think that'll be it. Okay. That's my bad, I think. Just do that again. Yes. All right. Nice. Nice little loop. And then we're out. And we're parallel to our other track. Excellent. So both of these can basically get to, I don't know, probably about here. I'm just winging this one. About to there. And then we'll cut this and start working our way down. So we'll go ramp. It's got to be 4 meters, I think. That's not going to work. Let's just do foundations, double ramp, 4 meters, turn it to concrete, and then we'll paint it later. And we just have to pray that we end up hitting this thing before we run out of, like, we go ahead of the track, right? And I'm sure we will. It seems like the incline is going to be fine. 2 meter. And that levels us off. Yeah. Alright, cool. Yeah, we're in business. So let's extend this out. Alright, looks great. So yeah, let's just then attach, I don't know. The great thing about those, they just kind of look like they fit together even if they don't, so that's good. And then I'll probably replace these to look, you know, have the same kind of bridge. I'll just do that later. I just don't have quite enough steel with me right now, but there is steel down at the steel refinery that I have to go get. So this also just ends up going nowhere. So I'm going to have to work on the... Well, let's just get our railway and bring it all the way down. Hopefully I've got enough steel to do that. Looks like I've probably just got just enough, maybe. Oh, interesting. So if I build it off this edge, we get this like little curve thing. Don't really like that. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I think if I just bring it back a bit, we won't get that. So maybe to the half foundation? Let's see, half to half, would that work? Half to 1. It's still a tiny bit raised, but not nearly as bad. And it kind of clips through a bit. Let's try one more different way. What about... What about 1 to 1? So it's going to clip even more, right? But it, yeah. Okay, well then, I guess I'll just leave it the way it was. So half foundation. To a full. So it's 1.5 foundations of a curve. But that's not bad. It looks alright. Yep. So we'll just have to do the same with this one. Alright, cool. Extend these both down to the track, and then we'll do our signals, and then that'll be it. Alrighty, so after a little bit of trial and error, I've got a pretty good junction, I think. Looking decent. Let me just think. So the left side is forward, and the right side is back, if you want to think of it that way. So left, you can take a turn and get onto that. The track on that far side. If you want to go left, you can. If you want to go right, you can. If the left track here wants to go straight, it can. If coming towards the screen, we want to turn onto that, we can do that as well. So I think that's everything, right? I'm pretty sure. I always look at these and get a little confused sometimes. But I think that's us pretty much sorted. Now I haven't put down the signals yet, so I'll have to do that, and then hopefully that will kind of figure itself out, I guess, as it were. Alright, so the last of the signals is now in place. I just also have to work out where the bauxite's going to go in, but I'm going to do that when I figure out how long this train is going to be and which carriage is going to take what. But for now, we're just going to ride the rails and see if this works. I think we're going to go pretty fast if we go downhill. I've seen videos where people go like down cliffs, and it's kind of extreme. I'll just put on a couple extra... Oh, that's as much as I can do. I'm out of heavy modular frames. Alright, let's hop on. And we'll just ride down this hill. I'll actually keep the UI on so we can see our speed. I'm going to try and do a hard bank to the left. Now, I've put down some path signals, but until I actually queue up a few routes to go to the right and to go to the left, I won't really know if it's going to be working or not. Alright, we've already gone past the max speed, which is 120. Oh my god. Alright, we're banking left. Jesus. Alright, totally fine. Totally fine. Now, I guess the real question is, can we get up there easily? So let's just slow back down. And I wonder, there's signals on that incline. If a train were to stop, will it have the power to get going again? Up the hill? I don't know. Alright, we'll take this train and then we'll bank to the right. Let's see if we can get up the hill and what our speed is. So the default speed on ground level here is like 120. So we're coming in at about 118. Slowing right down. So let's just do a hill start and see what happens. Letting off the brake, we do roll backwards, so holding the brake is necessary. Alright, I'm giving it the acceleration. There we go. Alright, it looks like it can do it. That's okay. Good. Every use case has been tested then, basically. So let's just try one automation then. And that'll be the last thing. We'll pull into our new station. So, edit the timetable. We'll say that... just in case we end up picking up something and I don't want to, I'm just going to get rid of that. And... timetable. So we'll start here, obviously, at the box and silica exports. And we'll go to... oil processing... well, exports really is what we'd want to go to with this train. So yeah, let's just do that. Turn on self-driving. Edit the timetable. We'll just say... wait here for just 1 second. And 5 seconds at the other place. Right, so we're not picking up anything. Everything's fine. We've left enough room for our goods to get in here. We just need to now feed this place with power. So I'll do that in between episodes. I'll probably just drag the power lines up through the cave system we came in through at the beginning of the game. So this is automated driving. I'm not doing it, so we're just relying on signals to get us there. Obviously, there's no other trains here right now, but I'm sure this will be okay. I think on the path signal here, it's going to slow down, reserve the path, and then speed back up. So yeah, there we go. And that signal, unfortunately, is built on top of itself, so it looks a bit weird, but it kind of has to be, so... these ones I have staggered, so they're just slightly different, so you always have the one that you're coming up to in front of you. So that looks quite good. Now, to go in here, it's going to go past this junction, I think, and go around the back far side, because the entrance is on the other side. This is the exit only. Yes, this is the path signal. It needs to reserve a path in here. It's just done it. So it actually slows down before it does that. I really don't like that, but I mean, I feel like it just must have to, I guess. And there we go. We're in the oil processing terminal. How good is that? Alright. It took a goddamn long time, you've no idea. It took a very long time. But at least we're basically now, everything is in position to just build. Whoop. And we can say that we just got out right there. Hey, slow down. To just build this aluminum factory. So the next episode, it's just going to be straight up aluminum the whole time. I'm going to get my materials together. I have a lot of it already there. But anything I don't have, get it all together. I know the machines. I know basically our input and what our desired output should be. We have the power, the electronic power to do it on the network. So we should be totally fine. So that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, thank you very much for watching, and remember, if you want to support the channel directly, you can click the join button to become a channel member. Doing so will get your name in the credits, as well as loyalty badges and emotes to use in the comments. You'll also get exclusive access to my Discord, where there's dedicated channels for each series I'm doing, and it's a great place just to meet others and make some friends.